Hi yogis and welcome to practice. It's Suzanne coming to you from my home yoga studio, and today I have a flow planned for you. This one is inspired by Muladhara Chakra, the root chakra. This is the first chakra in the series. It manages our stability, our security, how grounded or balanced we feel. So we'll be doing a flow that includes a lot of sturdy poses that use the ground for support, and we might move just a little bit slower just to make sure we keep our balance and stay nice and steady. For practice today, you might like a few props. A blanket and a block will be helpful. If you don't have those, don't worry, and feel free to substitute a step stool or books or anything else for that block shape if you have it around. So we'll begin as we always do with the breath. Take a moment, sit up nice and tall. Feel free to use those props to support the hips, to support the legs, and let the hands rest palm down on the body, either on the legs or maybe on the front of the body, wherever you feel comfortable. And if it feels okay, close the eyes for a moment. Take a deep inhale. Let it go. And start to settle into the breath, finding even cadence of breath, inhales and exhales, through the nose if that's available to you. And if you're newer to yoga, I'll invite you to stay there, but if you're more experienced, you might like to settle into Ujjayi, finding a constriction of the nasal passage and throat as you move the air in and out. And as we begin practice today, I will invite you to take a moment to check in. Just think about how grounded, how safe, how secure you're feeling in this moment. There's no wrong answer here. Just be honest with your general temperament, your general feeling. And then I will invite you to think about those things that help you to stay grounded or find your center when things get out of whack. Maybe that is your yoga practice this time here on the mat. Maybe your faith helps to root and ground you. Maybe it's your family or your passion project, whatever it is. Welcome that comfort, that energy to practice here. If you'd like a mantra, I am grounded or I am safe. All of those would be effective with this practice today. Then let the hands rest beside the body, and as you inhale, reach the arms towards overhead, filling up with life, with energy, with love. Bring them together and then pull all of that energy into the heart, sealing intention in. Find a drop of the chin and blink the eyes open. I'm going to set my props off to the side here and just shift to a side view. Step the feet to the mat and let the hands rest behind you. You can be relatively casual here as long as it's not like hurting the shoulders or the back. And then pick up the right foot, just find a little roll of the ankle, waking up that leg. Find a flex of the right foot and cross it over the thigh into a little number 4 seat. Now with everything we do, you control the intensity of the postures. With this pose, if you move that bottom leg out, the pose becomes a little softer, a little gentler. And if you move in, typically that intensity increases. So find a spot that's perfect for you today. Take a couple more breaths here. Now take an inhale, and as you exhale, drop the legs to the left and let that right foot step down to the mat. Sit up tall. If this foot doesn't connect well, step it in front of the shin. And find a twist to the right, hugging the knee or hooking the elbow. Open through the heart and then open the shoulders. The right hand behind you, just have a firm grip on the floor behind you with fingertips with fist or with palm down, wherever you feel stable. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, unwind. And you're going to separate the legs a little bit, keeping that left knee bent. The right leg extends. And if you're on your mat, your right heel goes towards that right corner. If you need to, take a blanket or a block underneath this left thigh. Turn your heart towards the right shin and start to shift forward or hinge forward over that right leg. Hands brace on the floor, maybe on the leg, and if you can reach without throwing the shoulders, without losing the connectedness in the seat, reaching for the foot. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to come back up, stepping those feet to the mat again, shifting back onto the hands. You can always windshield wiper here, get a little poor man's glute massage if you want. And then coming back to center, pick up that left foot. Start to warm up that ankle. Flexing the ankle and crossing it over the thigh, picking your amount of tension here. Make sure those hips stay heavy to the floor. If you find yourself coiling up, that's maybe a sign you've gone a little too far. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to drop the right foot to the mat as you come to sit upright. Remember, the left foot. Remember, this left foot can step over in front of the shin if you'd like. Sit up tall, take an inhale, and as you exhale, take a twist. Heart is open, left hand grounds to the floor behind you. It's another great place to use that block. If you have a block, sometimes that connection to the earth through the block is nice and solid. Take an inhale. As you exhale, unwind. The right knee stays wide as that left leg goes towards the left corner of the mat. Supporting right knee if you'd like. Turn the heart towards the left toes and then start to hinge. And then find that grounding either on the floor, the leg, or the foot, wherever you feel like you can get a little traction, a little pull into the pose. Start to come up and then either send both legs long or come to an easy seat for a moment. Hands come beside the body. Take a big inhale to reach up. Bringing hands to the heart, just take a moment to come back to that intention that you started with at the beginning of practice. And find a drop of the chin, blinking the eyes open. We'll come forward to all fours. And this is a great place if you'd like to take that blanket underneath the knees. From all fours, find a strong grip through the hands. Toes can be tucked or flush, whichever feels solid on the legs behind you. And then we'll find a few cat-cows. So on an inhale, drop the front of the body, press the heart forward, tip the tail. And as you exhale, push the ground away, coil and round. Do that a few more times. Inhale, heart reaches. And exhale, coil. Sinking with the breath. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, coil. Let's take two more here. Inhale, heart reaches. Exhale, coil. Good. Coming back through to all fours, and know that you're welcome to stay in all fours here or lift up to downward facing dog. Here in down dog, bend one knee and press the opposite heel towards the mat. And then switch sides. And you can do this as slow or as fast as you like, but take a moment and walk the dog, shifting through the hips, hands sinking a little heavier into the mat. Coming back through to center, find your downward facing dog. If you need a break, all fours is always welcome to you. On an inhale, shift forward, come into plank. And I'm going to start in a knee plank shape. You're welcome to stay up. Even though I'm in knee plank, there's a lift through the front of the body. The heart is open, still really strong and stable. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, lower to the ground. Press through the tops of the feet and stack the hands, resting the head on the hands. So the feet stay pressed down the whole time. On an inhale, lift the head. If you want a little extra, lift the hands with it. And as you exhale, come down, but I want you to push the hands and elbows into the floor. Do that twice more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release, and push. The feet push the whole time. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Move those hands beside the body. Press back up towards all fours. Feel free to take a moment and take a cat-cow here, or tuck those toes back to down dog. Now in down dog, I'll invite you to bend the knees a lot and flare the tail to the sky. And then walk the hands back a foot or so and try to push the heels into the mat. Maybe they touch down, maybe they don't. I've got a bend in the knee. Depending on your body, you might be bent, you might be straight. And then keep that bend in the knee. Walk the hands all the way back towards the feet. If you can, let the front of the body rest on the thighs. Get really heavy towards the floor. Give the head a shake yes and a shake no. And then inhale, come to a half lift. Hands press into shins as the heart reaches forward. Exhale, soften down, bend the knees, and walk back out to downward facing dog. Remember, all fours is always there. From here, come forward into plank. Knee plank is welcome. Push the floor away. Find a little buoyancy through the front of the body. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, lower all the way to the ground. You can keep the hands where they were to start, or take the hands back behind the body. Press through the tops of the feet. On an inhale, lift through the heart. Maybe lift the hands behind. Exhale, release and press down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. The feet stay connected the whole time today. Inhale to lift. Exhale, release. Take the hands beside the body again. Press back towards all fours or downward facing dog. This time, bend the knees a lot and walk the feet forward a little bit. Maybe try to get the heels down. If you can, shoulders stay away from the ears. So it's a really short, wonky, funky down dog. And then walk those feet all the way to the top of the mat. Finding a forward fold. Keep those knees bent if you can. The front of the body rest on the thighs. And then inhale, lift through the heart. Press to the shins, long through the spine. Exhale, sit it back. Come to a little squat. Knees behind toes. Lift through the front of the body. And then inhale, come to standing. Maybe reach those arms towards overhead. Hands will come to the heart. Okay, from here, I'll have you soften the knees and step the feet just a little bit wider than hips distance. Toes are still relatively forward here. On an inhale, sweep the arms towards overhead. And as you exhale, start to sit the hips back to a football squat. Hands at the heart, or rest the forearm to the thighs. Pause for a moment here. Let the feet be really heavy. Knees behind toes. Heart is open and there's a lift through the front of the body. Bring your hands to the block if you have one. Step stool works great here. And the left foot steps back, coming into a lizard. So it's a lunge. It's a wide lunge. Nice strong bend in the knee. Hands and toes are about on the same line. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring that back knee down. Feel free to soften that with the blanket if you'd like, and shift back to a little half splits. Heart is forward. So the legs a little wide. Sometimes we do this in a more narrow stance. Take an inhale. As you exhale, soften forward. We're going to tuck that toe again, lift through the back knee, and now pivot to the left, coming to a tabletop of a wide leg forward fold. Set the feet so the feet feel nice and secure. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, hinge at the hips to fold. You can always bend the knees here to get a little drapier, to feel a little heavier. On an inhale, lift up, come back to the tabletop. My toes are forward towards the long side of the mat. Take an exhale and take a little side lunge. I'm going to the left. I'm not mirroring you today. Inhale through to center and go to the right. One more time on each side. Inhale to center and then go to the left. Inhale to center and go to the right. Good. Start to pivot forward towards that lizard lunge at the top of the mat, and feel free to stutter step the left leg up or step forward to the forward fold. Feet are just a little wider than the hips. Take an inhale, lift the heart. As you exhale, sit it back and come all the way up, finding standing, bringing hands to the heart. Here we go again. Inhale, reach those arms towards overhead. And as you exhale, come down to that football squat. Hands to heart or forearms rest on the thighs. Try to keep those knees behind the toes, a strong stance through the feet. Hands are going to come down either to the floor or to the block for support. Right foot steps back to that lizard shape. And then bring that back knee down. Start to shift back to half splits. Heart is forward. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to soften forward. Tuck that back toe, lift the back knee, pivot to the right. Toes are to the long side of the mat. Take an inhale with a long spine. Exhale, come into the fold. Remember, you can soften those knees if it helps to feel heavier. Gives you more length in the back. And then inhale, lift to tabletop. As you exhale, side lunge to the right. Hips stay back. Inhale through to center and go left. Inhale through to center, go right. Inhale through to center, go left. And now pivot to the top of the mat. Stepping forward. Find that forward fold. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, sit it back. And come all the way up to standing. Bringing hands to the heart. Now take those toes out at a diagonal. Maybe take the feet a little wider. If you want to go a little deeper in the squat, if you want to stay where we were working, that's totally lovely. On an inhale, reach the arms towards overhead, and as you exhale, start to squat down, coming a little deeper. And you can certainly use that block under the tail for support. You can keep the hands to the block for support, or bringing hands to the heart. Hands come down either to the floor or to the block. Left foot steps back. I'm going to adjust those right toes a little more forward. Coming to this lizard lunge. Moving my hands back towards the heel, I'm going to straightish the front leg, drop that right hip back, heel gets heavy. Take an inhale, exhale, soften into the right knee and pivot to the left, toes to the long side. Inhale, lift through the heart. Exhale, take that side bend to the left, but I want you to pause. You can move the hands with you. Press through the blade edge of that right foot. Sit the hips back. Find that lift through the front of the body. And then inhale to center and go to the right. Hang out here for a little bit if you can. Keep that right knee nice and strong. And then pivot forward towards the top of the mat. Stepping to the top of the mat, find the forward fold. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, sit it back. Come all the way up to standing, bringing hands to the heart. Maybe positioning those feet a little bit wider, toes out. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, squatting down. Choose your squat, choose your depth, choose your level of support. Hands come down for support. Right foot steps back, coming to that lizard. When you're ready, move the hands back a little bit, straighten the front leg. Back heel gets heavy. There's a little glide of that left hip back. Take an inhale, exhale, soften into the knee and pivot to the right, toes to the long side of the mat. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, a little lunge to the right. Move the block over if you'd like. Come back through to center and go to the left. Pivot forward and step to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift through the heart. Exhale, sit the hips back. Come all the way up to standing, bringing hands to the heart. Good. Add a different little series in here. So take those feet to hips distance for me. On an inhale, reach the arms towards overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and offer the heart. Step the left foot back to a fingertip lunge. And then let the back heel spin down, coming to a little heel to arch alignment. You can come off that guideline if that feels better for you. Keep the legs nice and heavy here, and then bring that right forearm to the thigh. Try not to move that right knee as you open up, coming into side angle. Come back, find warrior two, keeping that knee nice and strong. Right hand looks up, reverse the warrior, and then hands come down as you come back to that fingertip lunge. Step to the top of the mat. From here, inhale, lift the heart. Right foot steps back, coming to the fingertip lunge. Let the back heel spin down. We're looking towards heel to arch alignment roughly. Left forearm comes to thigh. As you open up to side angle, try to keep that knee heavy. Use the strength of the ground to rise up. Keep the legs nice and strong and come up, warrior two. Left hand looks up, reach back to reverse. Cartwheel down, pick up that back heel, and then step to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, sit it back. Come all the way up to stand. Bringing hands to the heart. Let's go again. We'll add on a little bit of challenge if you want it. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and offer the heart. Left foot steps back to that fingertip lunge and plant the heel. Now, you can come right forearm to thigh or place the block to the inside of the foot, any height you like. Press down and then open up into side angle. So we get a little deeper expression on the hip. Maybe a lot deeper if you took the block low. Keep the legs active and come up, warrior two. Good, let's come back down. Take an inhale, exhale, back to that side angle shape. Keep the legs active, come back, warrior two. So you should feel some heat in that front quad. Take an inhale, exhale, cartwheel those hands down. Step to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift the heart. Right foot steps back to a fingertip lunge. Back heel spins down. Forearm to thigh or hand to the block, and then open up to your side angle. Keep the legs active and lift up, warrior two. Coming back down, take an inhale, exhale. Come back down to that side angle shape. Come back, find warrior two. And then cartwheel those hands down, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, sit it back. Come all the way up to standing, bringing hands to the heart. So we're going to combine those two segments to a longer flow. Add or subtract challenge or depth as you feel. Your body's warming up. You might have a little more space. So when you're ready, heel toe those feet, either a little wider than the hips or turn the toes out. On an inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, come to your squat. If you can, let those heels be nice and heavy. You can always use the blanket under the heels if you'd like to bridge that gap. Hands to the mat or to the block. Step the left foot back. Come to that lizard shape. Walk the hands back a little bit. Straighten the front leg back. Heel gets heavyish. Heart is forward. Take an inhale. Exhale. Soften into the knee. Pivot to the left. Toes to the long side. Take a big inhale. Exhale. Hinge into the fold. And if you can, palms to the mat. Find a little push into the floor to get a little deeper. Inhale, come up to tabletop. Exhale, take a side lunge to the left and just pause here. Lift up, take a little pivot forward. And this time, plant the back foot. Right forearm to thigh or hand to the block. Open up to your side angle. Lift up to warrior two. Legs stay strong. Take an inhale. Exhale back to that side angle. One more time. Back to warrior two. This time, cartwheel the hands down. You can certainly step to the top of the mat and take a pause, or step back to the top of plank. Knee plank works. Lower all the way to the belly and flip the feet. On an inhale, lift to a low cobra. Press through the feet. Try to pull the heart forward as you pull against the mat. Chest is open, back is open, little hug of the elbows. Take an inhale, exhale, release, press back either through plank or maybe through a child's pose and downward facing dog. Walk those feet to the top of the mat. Take an inhale, lift the heart. Sit those hips back. Come all the way up to standing. Hands will come to the heart. Heel toe those feet to hips distance or a little bit wider with toes out. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, squatting down. Hands to the block or hands to the mat. Right foot steps back to that lizard shape. Inhale. Actually, stay here for a breath or two. Now, straightish the front leg. Long through the spine. Open heart. Heavy through that back heel. Take an inhale, exhale, soften into the left knee, pivot to the right, toes to the long side of the mat, come into that tabletop, big inhale. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the mat, and use the leverage of the earth to dig into the fold. On an inhale, lift through the heart. Side bend into that right knee. Stay here. So hips are sitting back. Legs are strong. Here we go. Pivot forward to that fingertip lunge and now plant the back foot. Left hand to the block or left forearm to the thigh. Open up to your side angle. Legs stay strong. Lift up, warrior two. Take an inhale, exhale, back to side angle. One more time, up to warrior two. Hands cartwheel down, either stepping to the top of the mat or stepping back to your plank. Take an inhale, exhale, lower down, press through the tops of the feet, lift to that low cobra. Feet are grounding you, legs are strong. Gently release through child's pose, maybe through plank, downward facing dog. Take a step to the top of the mat, find the forward fold. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, sit it back. Come all the way up to standing. Take a moment, bring hands to the heart, check in with intention, check in with breath. When you're ready, drop the chin, blink the eyes open. We'll take that one more time on each side. You can, again, add as much challenge as you want. Insert some softness if you'd like. Heel toe those feet to hips distance or maybe a little bit wider. On an inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, find your squat. Hands will come down, left foot steps back, coming to the lizard, sink into the knee. On your next inhale, straightish that front leg. Sink into the knee again. Start to pivot to the left, toes to the long side of the mat. Inhale, lengthen through the heart. Exhale, fold any amount. If you feel stable enough to hold the ankles or the sides of the feet or the big toes, go ahead and do that. On an inhale, lift through the heart. Side lunge to your left. Heart is open. It's stable. It's strong. Start to come up. Pivot to the front. Back heel spins down. Right hand to the block or maybe to the floor, opening up to side angle. Back up, warrior two. Take an inhale, exhale one more time into that side angle. Back up to warrior two. Hands come down, stepping back to plank. Lower to the front of the body, lift to your low cobra. Strong through the legs, through the feet. Release, coming through child's pose or pressing back up, downward facing dog. Walk those feet to the top of the mat. One more time through. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, sit it back. Come all the way up, fighting standing. Bring hands to the heart. Heel toe those feet, hips distance or maybe a little bit wider. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, squatting down. Hands will come down. Right foot steps back, coming and settling into that lizard. Inhale, straightish the leg. Sink back in and pivot to the right. Toes to the long side of the mat. Big inhale, exhale, lengthen. Maybe play with grounding on the legs or on the feet. Inhale, lift up. Side lunge to the right. Keep it stable and strong. Lift up, start to pivot forward, planting the back foot. Use the forearm or use the block or use the floor. Open to that side angle. Lift up, warrior two. Back down, side angle. Feel the strength of those legs. One more time, warrior two. Take an inhale, exhale, cartwheel those hands down. Step back to plank, lower down, lift to your low cobra. And then we'll find our way to down dog. You're welcome to be in all fours or child's pose as well. Take a moment here, just coming back to intention, checking in with how the breath is flowing. What is it that grounds you and helps you find your stability when things get a little off kilter? Take a moment, honor and appreciate whatever those things in your life are. When you're ready, come forward either to plank or knee plank and find your way prone to the front of the body. And then coming into Sphinx posture. You can have palms together. It's a little gentler on the shoulders, or palms down. Press through the tops of the feet, just like we did in our locust and in our cobra. Find a little pull against the earth to open the heart. Legs stay active and strong. And now, take your right knee out to the side, a little bit or a lot, depends on kind of how your hips are feeling. And then lift the right elbow. Your left arm's going to thread under, and then open that right arm. Let the knee sort of follow as you come into a twist. And then once you get those shoulders settled and grounded, you can take the left hand to that top thigh and coax it back towards the floor. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, just roll back on to the front of your body, coming back to that Sphinx posture. Press through the tops of the feet. Legs are long behind you. Just come to that symmetry. And now let the left knee come to the side, any amount. Lift your left elbow. Right arm reaches under. Roll all the way to your back. Let that left shoulder ground. And then maybe right hand coaxes the left knee heavy. Now take an inhale. This time unwind, and you'll be on your back. And then if you're on a mat, you'll want to shimmy back on to the center of the mat. If you're like on your living room floor, you're probably okay right where you are. Find the shoulders heavy to the mat, the hips nice and secure. And just a slow windshield wiper. So it's like you're kneading the hips into the mat, kneading those glutes into the mat. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, hug the knees into the chest. You can hold the backs of the thighs or hold the shin. You can stay here if that is a good space, or reach for the feet for happy baby. And then if you can, imagine there's a weight on the tailbone, a weight on the knees. Just get as heavy as you can towards the floor. And depending on how your hamstrings and hips are feeling today, maybe you move the hands to the thighs to allow just a little heaviness there. You decide. If it feels okay, you can find a little rock from side to side. And then take an inhale, and as you exhale, hug the knees into the chest. Again, hands to the backs of the thighs or hands to the shins. Take a moment and curl up into a nice tight ball, into that fetal position. The whole front of the body, all those organs are protected. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, start to release. If it feels good, start to send the legs long. We're setting up for a restful shape, for a Shavasana shape. If you have a blanket handy, I will invite you to drape that blanket either over the hips or maybe over the feet. Just that, gentle little weight keeping you secure as you settle in. Let the arms open up if it feels good. And if you need a little extra grounding, turn the palms down towards the floor. Take an inhale and exhale to release. Take a moment here and notice each place where the body touches the ground beneath you. And imagine that at each of those spots, the body can begin to just seep in and puddle towards the earth. As you continue to settle in for Shavasana, I will leave you here. I'll invite you to set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes and really take this time to release, to seep into the earth, to take a much needed rest. It is my privilege to be here with you to practice today. Thank you so much for joining me virtually on the mat. Have a lovely, lovely rest of the day. Namaste.